Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop a like, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So lots to negotiate on this video today, but the first topic of the development I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Jan Oblak, the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper. Now reportedly he wants to leave Atletico Madrid this summer, and reportedly his preference is to join Manchester United, and we all do know basically that Manchester United do need a replacement for David De Gea, and I think we need to buy a goalkeeper to replace David De Gea. I don't think it's initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans to buy a goalkeeper to replace him, because as he updated you, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is willing to promote Sergio Romero as our number one goalkeeper. Of course, and like I said, I've got reservations about this because I don't think Sergio Romero is yet reliable enough, to become our number one goalkeeper. We have got the likes of Dean Henderson, but he's too inexperienced at the moment. I think he needs to gain a bit more of experience, and I know he has been on loan with Sheffield United. But like I said, I think Jan Oblak would be a good replacement for David De Gea, because obviously it's looking very imminent that David De Gea is going to be leaving the club. Obviously, reportedly he's demanding around £350,000 a week from Manchester United, but reportedly Manchester United are not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands. But I do think at least for the last year and a half, Manchester United have been in the process of trying to get him a new contract, of course. But I think David De Gea's likely destination is going to be PSG, and obviously we want to cash in for De Gea this summer rather than letting go on a free transfer next year, because obviously that would be a calamity if we let him go on a free transfer next year, of course. But like I said, De Gea has been a great servant at Manchester United. He has been here 8 years. Obviously he's made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions. He's won everything here domestically. He's been here since the Alex Ferguson era. I think we paid around, was it £17 million for him or something, but he has been a great servant to the club. He's also won the Club's Player of the Year 4 times out of the last 6 years. But I think PSG are reportedly preparing to put a bid in for him of around £60 million. Obviously we do know David De Gea at full value for the goalkeeper is worth around £100 million, but obviously we're not going to get £100 million because obviously he's only got a year left on his contract. Maybe if he had about 3 years on his contract, I think we could get around £100 million for David De Gea. Obviously we do know Real Madrid have been long admirers of him. Obviously Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him back in 2015, but due to a fax machine, of course, the deal never materialised. And it also says that Juventus have been interested, but he has been here 8 years, hasn't really done much on in his 8-year period at Manchester United. I know he was making costly mistakes towards the back end of last season, but that was mainly to do with the contract situation. But I think it has been a problem for Manchester United. We have let far too many players' contracts run down. David De Gea in his current deal at the moment is on about £200,000 a week, so potentially he's demanding a £150,000 pay rise if he's to remain loyal to the club and all that as well, if he's to stay with Manchester United. But he's 28 years of age, is De Gea, and he has still got quite a bit of a development in him. So do you believe that Jan Oblak would be the right replacement for him? So Jan Oblak, I wouldn't say he's in the calibre or level of David De Gea. He's 26 years of age. He's a couple of years younger than David De Gea is Jan Oblak. But like I said, he's a really good goalkeeper. I think only last season it was Liverpool's Allison that kept as many clean sheets as Jan Oblak. Jan Oblak's been at Atletico Madrid 5 seasons. I think he has made over 200 odd appearances for Atletico Madrid. I think he's won 3 major honours, including the UEFA Super Cup and I think the Europa League. So he has done really well for Atletico Madrid. I think his initial buyout clause is around £100 million. He recently extended his contract term in April, and I think he also got a pay rise in his current buyout clause. So I think his buyout clause is at 100 or is it £107 million or something like that. He is under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023. But I think reports come out about Jan Oblak, was it about 4 or 5 weeks ago, saying that Manchester United were preparing to trigger his buyout clause to get Jan Oblak. But I like Jan Oblak. He's regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Obviously hasn't been in the Premier League as yet, but I think from his own preference he's keen on joining Manchester United. So like I said, if De Gea leaves, we are going to need to buy a goalkeeper to currently replace him. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know, is looking to try and keep his imperative players at the football club, and obviously Solskjaer knows how imperative David De Gea is. He knows how imperative Paul Pogba is. So they are two players obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does want to keep, but it is looking likely De Gea is going to be leaving. It's also possibly likely that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving, but based on the huge transfer fee that we have put on him, there is a possibility chance that Paul Pogba could remain at the football club. We do know Lukaku's been linked to a move away from Manchester United, but based on the huge transfer fee we've put on him, there could be a possibility chance that he could remain at the football club. But like I said, we have got our first signing on the board for this summer through Daniel James, which is very good news. And obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to want to build on that now, and obviously get another 4 or 5 players in to Manchester United. I think 3 or 4 players are expected to leave this summer, maybe 5. Obviously, all the players that we do want to currently leave, we're not going to be able to address this problem in one window. But like I said, £200 million spending spree should be enough to get you about 5 new players on the board, depending on how we are with our recruitment, because obviously some people said we should be sensible with our recruitment. There's a lot of players on our agenda that are available for a reasonable figure. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad. But like I said, it's going to amount up to a lot more than £200 million, for cashing for Pogba, if we're cashing for Lukaku, that's probably £200 million plus there, if we're cashing for Lukaku and Paul Pogba. And I do believe it'll help us with our rebuilding process, and of course it will help us with our transition. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's worked out his transfer strategy for this summer. He wants to recommend a number of young players to come in that can grow, develop and emulate in superstars, and he's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. And he also wants to recruit British talents to Manchester United this summer. But we've got to get our number 1 targets this summer, like I said, because obviously we didn't get anyone in January. We didn't get his number 1 targets last summer, because reflecting back last summer, the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in. So we have got to get our number 1 targets this summer. Like I said, we haven't got Champions League football for next season. That could go against us. And like I said, it's always pivotal, to have Champions League football if you want to get your number 1 targets. But Solskjaer was saying towards the back end of last season, he still believes we can attract players to the elite level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. Because I know we're a toxic club. We have been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years. And to be quite honest with you, we have been mismanaged in the last 5 or 6 years. Since Alex Ferguson retired. And like I said, a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club. We've seen players come in, and of course we have seen players currently go. But yeah, we have been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years. So it's very, very essential that we do get our number 1 tags this summer. But looking at it, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are the most successful team in England. Historically, won 13 Premier Leagues, obviously 20 all in all. So we are still a massive club. With a fantastic fan base. So players still may want to join Manchester United. But you can see the deficiencies in the squad. I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations is going to be definitely going for that top 5. I think going on into next season, our expectation levels, probably. Our expectations probably, will be to finish in the top 4, maybe win the Carabao Cup, maybe winning the Europa League. And like I said, at the moment, City strides ahead of us, Liverpool strides ahead of us. So it's very imperative that we catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. And I do believe Liverpool are probably going to spend this summer. I don't think Liverpool will, get many players this summer, because obviously Liverpool had a good window last summer. Manchester City, I think, will get maybe a player or 2 in this summer. I know they've spent a hell of a lot of money under Guardiola, but I think they'll be looking to invest this summer. I think Arsenal are going to find it difficult to have a competitive summer transfer window, because obviously they've not obviously got a Champions League footballer for next season. With Chelsea, I'm not too sure, because they've got a transfer ban, haven't they? I think if they can get the transfer ban overturned, they might be able to get some players in. But I don't know if their transfer ban is going to be overturned. But I know at the moment that obviously they can't do any transfer activity in the next couple of windows. And I do believe also that Tottenham, probably will want to get a player or 2 in this summer, because they haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously, the last player Tottenham bought was Lucas Moura back in 2018, and obviously their record signing is Davinson Sanchez, who they paid £42 million for from Ajax back in 2017. So obviously Mauricio Pochettino will want back in this summer. I think it did say before the Champions League final, I think this was before the Champions League final, that Mauricio Pochettino threatened to resign as Tottenham manager if he isn't back this summer. But yeah, teams are going to invest this summer, so we have got to get the right recruitment to Manchester United. But like I said, it's looking likely Bruno Fernandes is coming in, so it's looking likely he's going to be our second signing this summer, our second signing as well under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. I updated you about Bruno Fernandes earlier on, but let's be honest, he has been one of our priority targets. I really, really like him. He's primarily an attacking midfielder, only 24 years of age. Reports came out last week saying I think that Manchester United had scheduled a meeting with Sporting Lisbon, to get a deal over the line. I think we are set to get him in a deal worth around £70 million, because this is what Manchester United are preparing to pay for his services. I think initially, Sporting Lisbon want around £70 million for him. But I think Bruno Fernandes is set to talk. Bruno Fernandes is set to talk to Sporting Lisbon. He's set to talk to Sporting Lisbon about a transfer away. He was mentioning that he had a great time in Italy, because obviously he spent the majority of his career in Italy. When he was younger with the likes of Sampdoria and Underneath. And I think he said he's still watching the Italian Italian Championship, the Italian Championship, both Inter and all the others and all that. So this is what he's basically, said he's doing, Bruno Fernandes. So I think it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon. I'd still say Manchester United are in the ascendancy. Even though reports came out last week from the Portuguese press saying that Tottenham had entered the race for him, it also said that Liverpool had entered the race for him. Like I said, Tottenham have obviously, seen him as a replacement for Christian Eriksen, because obviously Christian Eriksen's linked with a move to Real Madrid, and obviously, Tottenham are seeing Bruno Fernandes as an alternative to Giovanni Lo Celso, because Giovanni Lo Celso has been Tottenham's number one target, but recently Tottenham have had a bid turned down for Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis, so now Tottenham have obviously, turned their attentions more on Bruno Fernandes. But I think he's definitely, coming here to Manchester United, but it has been mainly Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services. But obviously, reports came out last week saying that City have withdrawn their interest. They've pulled out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. So yeah, hopefully we can get a deal over the line for him. But I think it did say last week, was it, Ed Woodward was hesitant over our transfer move for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, I think Ed Woodward has got reservations about, Manchester United, spending big on players who he doesn't think are going to step up to the mark. And let's be honest, Bruno Fernandes hasn't really played to the highest level as yet. But like I said, he's done well in his couple of seasons with Sporting Lisbon. I think he scored about, 28 goals last season, or was it around 31 goals he scored last season? Got a number of assists as well, so he can score goals. And we need someone to come in our midfield that can bring us them goals, of course. And I definitely think Bruno Fernandes is the right solution. But like I said, yeah, I think we are going to get a deal over the line for him. But like I said, he's exceeded expectation levels in his couple of years with Sporting Lisbon, and I do believe he can replicate this form in the Premier League with Manchester United. But when it comes to Manchester United, he's going to take his footballing career to the next level. Initially, his release clause is around £86 million. He's under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. But like I said, a really, really good player indeed. And obviously, if Paul Pogba is to leave Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes would be the adequate replacement for him. So it's looking very imminent. He's going to be coming to Manchester United. Very, very good news indeed. As I've been updating you on a regular basis about Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace, reports have been emerging out saying that Manchester United now we are willing to put an improved offer in for Wan-Bissaka. Now, reportedly, we are willing to offer around £50 million for his services. Whether Crystal Palace, going to accept this offer or not, I do not know, because I think Crystal Palace are saying they want around at least £60 million for him. Like I said, recent reports have said that Manchester United put a £40 million bid in for Wan-Bissaka, but reportedly, Crystal Palace had turned this down. Obviously, he's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. Obviously, he's going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because he wants to recommend young players to come in. And now Wan-Bissaka is only 21 years of age, and I do believe he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. I think it came out weeks ago saying that we had submitted a bid of around £25 million for Wan-Bissaka, but obviously, this figure is going to be nowhere near enough, to convince Crystal Palace to offload him. Crystal Palace know how much of an essential player that Wan-Bissaka is to them. Obviously, he's proven in the Premier League so far. He has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. He broke into their senior squad in February of last year, and obviously, last season he established himself as a first team regular and did really, really well, of course. And I really, really like Wan-Bissaka a lot. Like I said, he's only 21 years of age. He's got a hell of a lot of development in him. So with Crystal Palace, he's only been in their senior squad about 15, 16 months. I think he's made about 42 senior appearances. He has got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. So like I said, I really, really like him a lot. He's predominantly a right back. Like I said, we need a right back because obviously, we've got issues defensively. Obviously, that was proven last season. We conceded 54 goals in the Premier League, and I think he would be the right solution. We're down Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, we need a replacement for Antonio Valencia, because obviously he's been at Manchester United a decade, and obviously I think it remains uncertain where his next destination is going to be. There has been talks about him going to the MLS. Like I said, we need an upgrade to Ashley Young. Definitely need an upgrade to Ashley Young, because he's no longer got the ability to fulfill that right back position again. Ashley Young's been a long-serving player. He's been here about 8 years. Obviously, I think he's going to be given the captaincy for next season. It was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving him that new 1 year extension, and also, he has passed his sell-by date now. He's 33, nearly 34 years of age. And by the time his new 1 year extension expires, he'll be nearly 35 years of age, Ash Young. So he's definitely one of the problematic players. And obviously, he was our first choice right back last season. And obviously, we need a cover up for Diego Dalot. We got Diego Dalot from Porto last summer. We paid around, £19 million for him. And he's 20 years of age. And, he did demonstrate that he can hold his line very, very well, last season, towards the back end of last season. Obviously, quite a few times, but we played Diego Dalot as a right winger. He's predominantly a right back, but we did play him as a right winger because he can also play as a right winger, but like I said, predominantly a right back. But obviously last season, Ash Young was our first choice right back. But like I said, I think Wan-Bissaka, would be the right solution. I think Wan-Bissaka came out a while back, saying that, he's intending on staying with Crystal Palace at least for another season, of course. So this is what, basically Wan-Bissaka said. I don't think Crystal Palace want to sell him, but they are basically saying, they want around £60 million for him. And I think initially, when he was a lot younger, I think he's been at Crystal Palace since the age of 11. He obviously graduated from their youth system, and I think he was an out-and-out winner, when he was younger. But as he was developing in that, I think he got rotated as a right back. Now he is regarded as one of the best right backs in the Premier League. So, like I said, if we don't get Wan-Bissaka though, because I think he's our top priority, if we don't get Wan-Bissaka, we'll be looking to get a deal over the line for Thomas Meunier. And obviously, looking at it from a financial point of view, Thomas Meunier is going to obviously he's going to substantially cost us a lot less than Wan-Bissaka, so he's a much cheaper solution, of course. I think it did say PSG want from between 22 to 25 million pounds for him, and that is a reasonable figure. And obviously Thomas Meunier is 27, he's highly experienced, obviously hasn't played in the Premier League yet. Obviously it came out the other week saying that Manchester United had made initial contact with PSG over the move. It also said that Arsenal had made initial contact, but I think from Thomas Meunier's perspective, he's keen on making the move to Manchester United, because it got revealed he's reportedly being a Manchester United fan, since he was a child. But he has done well with PSG. He's been there 3 years. I think he's made about 101 appearances. He's only got a year left on his deal with PSG. But like I said, I think he wants to make the move to Manchester United. But like I said, 27 years of age, has still got quite a lot of development in him. I still say Thomas Meunier's got at least 3 or 4 years left in him. He can also play in other positions as well, which is very good. So very versatile, can score goals, can provide. So we'll be looking to get a deal over the line for Meunier if we can't get a deal over the line for Wan-Bissaka. So there has been quite a few right backs on our current agenda. Like I did say, as I've been updating you on a regular basis about Matthias de Ligt for Mike's. Of course, obviously, he's been a priority target for Manchester United. A number of clubs have inquired about his services, because he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation, because it's looking imminent that he's going to be leaving Ajax this summer, but it remains uncertain, at the moment, where he will be applying his trade next season, because Matthias de Ligt has not yet made a decision on his future. He is aware of the speculation. He's been widely spoken about throughout the course of this window, but there's so many teams that are in there for him. But according to recent reports, I think the two teams that are considered to be the favourites to get the player's signature is Barcelona and PSG, so I think them two are his likely destinations. I think it did say Barcelona sometime this week are set to reopen talks with his agent Manu Raiola, obviously over getting a deal over the line. But I think at least anyway in the last couple of months that Barcelona have been in the ascendancy, of getting Matthias de Ligt. They've been in the ascendancy of getting Matthias de Ligt of Barcelona, even though it came out the other week saying that talks had stalled, between de Ligt and Barcelona. Obviously, the main factor reason why the talks had stalled, because obviously they were struggling to come to an agreement on the terms. Obviously, some reports were speculating saying that Matthias de Ligt's transferred to Barcelona, he's done and all that, a fee's been agreed, but obviously, they couldn't come to an agreement on the terms. Obviously, Barcelona have already got a deal over the line for his teammate Frankie de Jong, who they paid £65 million for, so maybe, Matthias de Ligt, from his own perspective, wants to reunite with his current teammate Frankie de Jong. So Barcelona are still considered as one of the favourites. It does say PSG as well, are now considered as one of the favourites. I think PSG are willing to offer better terms than Barcelona. So PSG, could, get Matthias de Ligt. PSG have spent big, in the last couple of seasons, obviously on Mbappe and Neymar, obviously, the two most expensive players in world football, as you all know. But yeah, there's a lot of teams in there for him. Liverpool, of course, are in there for him. I think from Matthias de Ligt's agent, Manu Raiola, he's basically, for me, his own preference, he actually wants him to make the move to Liverpool, because maybe Raiola thinks that Liverpool would be the right solution for Matthias de Ligt. But I think Matthias de Ligt wants to join a club that's got Champions League football. This is why I think Manchester United is set to miss out on him, because obviously we haven't got Champions League football for next season, and maybe Matthias de Ligt wants to go to a club that's going to show him first team football, and that's one thing Manchester United would be able to guarantee. Would be able to show him first team football. I think first team football would be much easier for him at Manchester United, than it would be for him, of course, at Barcelona and all that. I think also City have been in for him, because obviously, Manchester City are looking for the replacement for Vincent Kompany. Also, Juventus have been in there, Bayern Munich have been in there, but I think now Bayern Munich have opted out of the race. So many teams have inquired about his services. In terms of the transfer fees, he's going to cost you from 70 to 75 million pounds is Matthias de Ligt, because obviously, that's what he's initially rated at, but he's a central defender. He's very tall as well, which is very beneficial. And we need a central defender. Like I said, I think we need two central defenders, if I'm going to be quite honest, because we've got issues defensively. Like I said, we haven't had a world-class central defender, since we had the likes of Ferdinand, since we had the likes of Vidic, and obviously, there with a fantastic partnership, under Alex Ferguson. But we haven't had a world-class central defender, since then. And I think Matty Stillett, would be the right solution for Manchester United. I think he'd blend in very well alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline. I was impressed with Victor Lindelof last season. I thought he played really, really well for Manchester United. His distribution was good. His passing was good. He was showing that ability, that he can play out from the back. So very, very impressed with Victor Lindelof last season. Struggled in his first season, didn't really fit in his first season, Lindelof, but there was vast improvements in his game in his second season with Manchester United, of course. Obviously, I think we paid around, was it £31 million for him from Benfica back in 2017. So we need someone that can, go alongside him. And I think Matty Stillett, would be the right solution. But like I said, we need two central defenders because Smalling and Jones are no longer good enough. They've been two long-serving players at the club. Smalling's been here 9 years. Phil Jones, of course, has been here 8 years. And it was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving them two, new long-term contracts. Comparing them, I think Smalling's on a different level to Phil Jones because I think Smalling's a much, much better defender than Phil Jones. But they are too inconsistent now. I know we've got Eric Bailly, but initially Eric Bailly now doesn't even get in the team, of course. I think his career's been badly affected with Manchester United, the amount of injuries he's sustained, obviously, with his fallout under managers. I think it's really had a bad effect on his career. And don't get me wrong, he burst into the scenes really well when he first came into the Premier League. Obviously, we got him in 2016 from Villarreal. We paid around £30 million for him. So I think Manchester United, would be open to selling him. But I think, we would be looking to recoup the initial £30 million that we did pay for him from Villarreal. Obviously, it was Jose Mourinho's first signing. Obviously, Jose Mourinho bought 11 players. Obviously, just spent just under £400 million at the club. But, Eric Bailly was the current first signing. So, like I said, he's initially lost his players in the team. So, this is why I said we need two central defenders. But with Matty Stillett, when he does leave, it's going to take his footballing career to the next level. He's only 19 years of age. I think he's, as I said, he spent the entirety of his career with Ajax so far, being an Ajax player since the age of 8, the age of 9. Progressing up the ranks fantastically well. Being in their senior squad since 2016, is it something like that? So he's had about 2.5, 3 years worth of experience in their senior squad and all that. I think he made his senior debut at just the age of 17. I think he got named captain at the age of 18, and he has done really, really well. I think he won the Golden Boy Award there last year. Obviously, enjoyed a great season last season with Ajax, captaining them to the domestic double for the first time in nearly a decade. Obviously, winning the Eredivisie title for the first time since 2014, and of course, progressing to Champions League semi-final. So he has been one of our priority targets because he would address our defensive deficiencies fantastically well. But I just don't see us now getting Matty Stillett. But I think he did say reports were coming out last week saying that he was set to inform Manchester United about a decision on his future in coming days, but he's not yet made a decision on his future, so it could take the next couple of weeks for him to make a decision on his current future. So many teams of course are in there for him. Obviously, as he updated you earlier on as well about Harry Maguire from Leicester, obviously there has been a lot of talks about him going on. Obviously, Manchester United and Manchester City are set to compete for the signing of Harry Maguire because Man United and Manchester City are in for him. Obviously, Manchester City have identified him as their number one target, to replace Vincent Kompany. But like I said, I like Harry Maguire a lot. But I think, with Manchester United and Manchester City, I've got reservations, about, his current price tag because reportedly, Leicester are demanding an extortionate amount. And I think reportedly Manchester United and Manchester City, are going to be reluctant to pay it. I think Leicester want around 80 or 90 million pounds for him. I think basically Leicester have priced him out of the transfer market because initially Leicester don't want to sell him because Leicester know how much of an essential player he is to them. So reportedly they want around 80 or 90 million pounds. Don't get me wrong, Manchester United and Manchester City have got the financial power, to meet that valuation. But I just think, we are reluctant to pay that because I just don't think, Harry Maguire is worth 80 or 90 million pounds. But we do know Harry Maguire is being relentlessly, linked to a move away from Leicester, and we do know he's relentlessly being linked to a move to Manchester United. And the rumours have continued to persist about Harry Maguire since last summer. Obviously, the process started under Jose Mourinho about Harry Maguire because obviously Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend in to Manchester United. But last summer, I think Leicester wanted around, was it 70 or 75 million pounds, and Manchester United, of course, were reluctant to meet that. But like I said, if Man United are Manchester City, willing to pay 80 or 90 million pounds for his services, obviously, it would make him the most expensive defender in world football because obviously the most expensive defender in world football at the moment is Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, who Liverpool, of course, paid 75 million pounds for, and it would also also make him the most expensive English player of all time. And obviously, you would go ahead of Kyle Walker, because I think Kyle Walker at the moment is the most expensive English player of all time. City got him for £50 million a couple of seasons ago from Tottenham. I think there were also additional add-ons included in the deal, which did potentially rise it to around 52 or 53 million pounds. But I just can't see Man United willing to pay £90 million for his services. I can't see City willing to pay £80 or £90 million for his services. But yeah, Manchester United are still in there for him. So he's Premier League proven, and I think he would be a good addition to our squad if he was to come in. I think he'd blend in alongside Victor Lindelof very, very well. He's still got a lot of development in him. He's 26 years of age. He's in his prime. And even if Harry Maguire doesn't leave Leicester this summer, I think at some point in his career he'll want to take his footballing career to the next level and rejuvenate his career, of course. But last summer signed a new contract with Leicester, a new long-term contract, so he's under contract with them until 2023. Obviously, he's been at Leicester a couple of seasons. I think he's made about 101 appearances in the Premier League. Leicester initially got him from Hull City for around £17 million. He also had a loan spell with Wigan at one point, and also when he was a lot younger, initially began his career with Sheffield United. Graduated from their youth system, and then obviously went on to play 166 professional games for Sheffield United. So Harry Maguire has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. I think Harry Maguire was talking about a while back about playing in Champions League football and all that, and so maybe from his own preference he would prefer the move to Manchester City than Manchester United and all that, because City can offer him Champions League football. City are the dominant force in England at the moment, so I think at some point in his career he's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. So Man United and Manchester City are in for Harry Maguire. Like I said though, Toby Alderweireld has been on our current agenda, and obviously looking at it from the financial point of view, Toby Alderweireld is going to cost us a lot less than Harry Maguire. He's going to cost us a lot less than Koulibaly from Napoli and all that. He's going to cost us a lot less than Matthias de Ligt. So looking at it from the financial point of view, he's a cheap alternative, is Alderweireld, but I don't think he's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, is Alderweireld, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. Obviously, Toby Alderweireld's aging up now. He's 30. He has lost that yard of pace. Don't get me wrong, I still think he'd be a great upgrade in our defence of what we've currently got at the moment. He's proven in the Premier League. He's been at Tottenham a number of years, but he's available for £25 million this summer. Tottenham initially activated a 12-month extension, was it, back in January, and included this 25 million release clause. So yeah, he's available for £25 million this summer. I think he did say the other week was set to make a decision, was it, last week, whether we were going to go in for him or not. But I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on bringing Alderweireld in. But he was another player Manchester United inquired about getting last summer. But I think last summer Tottenham were demanding around £68 million him. So there is so many central defenders on our current agenda, as you all know. Like I did say to you, probably 3 or 4 players are expected to leave Manchester United. Maybe 5 are expected to leave. But obviously, there's been quite a few midfielders on our current agenda. Like I said, it's looking like, Bruno Fernandes is going to be coming in. Obviously, I've been giving you an update on a regular basis, haven't I, about James Maddison from Leicester. Obviously, a lot of reports were emerging out, was it last week, saying that, Manchester United were in for him. Manchester United had made initial contact, with Leicester and James Maddison and his representatives over the summer transfer to Manchester United. Reportedly, we emerged him as a priority target. It did initially say Leicester wanted around £60 million for him, but I think James Maddison's perspective, he's keen on staying with Leicester at least for another season, so I don't think it's going to happen this summer. Initially, Leicester said they wanted around £60 million for him. I think Manchester United would have been happy to pay £60 million for him, his services, and but yeah, I think he's keen on staying with Leicester. The likes of City, Liverpool and Tottenham have been in for him because I think they've been tracking him since he was a teenager at Coventry, because he grew up in Coventry, progressed up the ranks with Coventry and all that. Leicester did get him last summer for £20 million from Norwich, and he signed a 5-year deal with Leicester, so he's under contract with them until 2023. So he's obviously had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Last season I think was involved in 14 goals. Got 7 goals, got 7 assists. I think he created more chances than any other player. So James Maddison is British as well. He's 22 years of age, and he is an attacking midfielder. So there has been talks about him, previously, going on. There has previously been talks about him going on. Obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis about Yuri Tillemans from Leicester. Obviously, it does say Manchester United are interested in him. Also, Tottenham have inquired about his services. But Yuri Tillemans was pivotal in Leicester's transformation under Brendan Rodgers. Now, reportedly, Leicester are keen on getting Yuri Tillemans on a permanent deal. And Leicester have been in talks with Monaco about this. I think from Yuri Tillemans' perspective, he is set to return to Monaco, as he did say. Obviously, he's had about 5-6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League, and he's done really, really well. Yuri Tillemans, he's exceeded expectation levels. He's only 22 years of age, but reportedly Manchester United have inquired about his services. Obviously, we would see him as a replacement for Paul Pogba, but I think he's initially rated at around £40 million, so he is available for a reasonable figure. I think he's under contract with Monaco until 2022. I think initially Monaco paid around £21 million for his services from Anderlecht back in 2017, because initially he began his career with Anderlecht, did Yuri Tillemans. So reportedly Manchester United have also been in for him. I think also Arsenal have inquired about his services. I think it came out the other week saying that City were in for him. Like I said, Tottenham are in for him. So quite a few teams have inquired about his services. But I think Leicester are keen on getting him on a permanent deal. And as I have been updating you on a regular basis as well about Joe Felix from Benfica. Obviously, it is Manchester United and Manchester City that are battling out for him. I think he remains uncertain about his future at the moment, but I think Benfica have admitted, they have confirmed that, Joe Felix, could leave Benfica this summer. I think more than likely his release clause will have to be triggered. His release clause is around £105 million. I think Manchester United and Manchester City, are willing to trigger his release clause. Joe Felix, very, very good player, only 19 years of age, and I do believe he can emulate into one of the best players in the world. Maybe not emulating to Ronaldo, Neymar or Messi, but I do believe he can emulate into one of the best. So primarily an attacking midfielder, can also play as a winner, a striker, a secondary striker. So very, very versatile indeed is Joe Felix. But he's been on Manchester United's agenda for quite a long time now. We have been linked to him, I think, since like January. Obviously, we've been scouting Joe Felix since January. So I'd love us to get him a deal over the line for him. But I think we instructed scouts, like I said, since January, keeping an eye on him, because he was really good last season with Benfica. It was his debut season for Benfica in the senior squad, because it was his first season last season in the senior squad. Obviously has not yet made his senior debut for Portugal, so there has been a lot of talks about him going on. I have been giving you an update, haven't I, on a regular basis about Gareth Bale from Real Madrid. Obviously, reports have been emerging out at least in the last couple of days, as I've actually been updating you on a regular basis. Reportedly, Manchester United have inquired about getting Gareth Bale on loan. Like I said, Real Madrid want to get rid of Gareth Bale. I think Real Madrid, from their preference, would prefer to get rid of him permanently, but Real Madrid are going to find it very difficult to get rid of him permanently, based on his substantial wages and all that. But yeah, Manchester United have inquired about getting Gareth Bale on loan. Obviously, I think it's initially potentially for 2 seasons. Man United are keen on getting him on a long season loan, but it is potentially for 2 seasons, because there's an option to extend it by a further 12 months. Reportedly, Manchester United are willing to pay his wages and all that, and I think his wages are about £480,000 a week. Obviously, of course, we are willing to pay a loan fee and all that for Gareth Bale. And I think if this does process, Real Madrid, will knock £50 million off their wage bill in the next couple of seasons. So obviously, this is going to be beneficial for Real Madrid. But as you all do know, I've got reservations about Gareth Bale. Obviously, like I said, he's been inconsistent in the last couple of seasons for Real Madrid. Like I said, though, he's injury prone, very injury prone. This is another main factor reason why I wouldn't want him in Manchester United. Plus he's aging up. He's nearly, I think he's 30 years of age next month. But like I said, his ratio's still very good, even though he is injury prone. He scored 102 goals in 231 games for Real Madrid, and I think he's provided them about 64 assists. But Zinedine Zidane has confirmed that Gareth Bale is no longer part of his plans at Real Madrid, and he's also confirmed that Gareth Bale has no future, of course, at Real Madrid. I think from Gareth Bale's perspective, from his own perspective, I think he's no intentions leaving Real Madrid. He wants to stay with Real Madrid and all that, but Real Madrid wants to get rid of him. He has still got 3 years left on his contract. Reports were coming out saying that Real Madrid want around £75 million for his services. So basically, Real Madrid are looking to recoup the majority of the money that they paid for him from Tottenham back in 2013, because obviously Real Madrid paid around £85 million for his services from Tottenham back in 2013. So he has been at Real Madrid 6 years. I think he's won about 13 major honours, including 4 Champions Leagues. Bale can play on the left. He can also play on the right and all that. But I just wouldn't be keen on bringing him in. I'd rather get him on loan than get him on a permanent deal. But we have inquired about getting Gareth Bale on loan. I think there was also talks about him possibly making a return back to Tottenham, but Tottenham are not willing to meet his £75 million price tag. But still a good player. You don't get me wrong. He probably has still got got quite a few years ahead of him, but like I said, he's aging up now, and I wouldn't be keen on bringing him to Manchester United. But we do know he's relentlessly been linked to a move to Manchester United since 2013, and obviously the rumours have continued to persist since then. And, still possibly, Bale could be part of the deal with Paul Pogba, because like I said to you guys about Paul Pogba, he's been heavily linked with a move away from Old Trafford. Like I said, I think his first choice preference is Real Madrid, but like I said, Real Madrid are not keen on getting Paul Pogba on the straight cash payment, so they're orchestrating something out, and the reports did come out the other day saying that Real Madrid were willing to offer Gareth Bale in a transfer offer for Paul Pogba. Obviously now reports are coming in, saying that Juventus are interested in re-signing him. Obviously, a lot of reports emerged out about this last week, saying that Juventus are interested in re-signing him. Obviously, Juventus, I don't think, have yet made any kind of formal bid. They have made contact, with Manchester United. They've also been in negotiations with his agent, Raiola, and all that. And possibly he could make the return back to Turin, because he did have 4 good years in Turin. Did Paul Pogba. He exceeded expectation levels. Hasn't really replicated his form, since he did come back to Manchester United. He hasn't been the fundamental player as well thought he would have been. Obviously, we paid £89 million for him, so he could possibly make the return to Turin, or he could make the move to Real Madrid. Like I said, Manchester United and Real Madrid have been in negotiations over the sale of Paul Pogba. Solskjaer doesn't want to sell him, so he's basically trying to do everything he can to try and convince him to remain at the football club. But like I said, I think in issue, want around £150 million for his services. But Real Madrid, of course, are reluctant to pay that. But Zinedine Zidane's got a lot of the players on his agenda. Obviously, he's got Eden Hazard on the board now. He's got Luka Jovic on the board now. So he wanted to get a transfer prioritised there for Paul Pogba. But like I said, Paul Pogba's first choice preference is definitely Real Madrid. And a couple of the main factor reasons why he may want to leave, because maybe wants to be playing amongst better players, wants to be in Champions League football, wants to be winning Super, wants to be competing, and he's not experiencing this Manchester United. So maybe he does want to rejuvenate his career. Obviously, Paul Pogba's still got 2 years left on his contract with the club. Obviously, it came out the other week saying that Solskjaer was willing to offer him the captaincy in a bid to convince Paul Pogba to remain at the football club, but I think he wants to rejuvenate his career. But based on the huge transfer fee we've put on him, this could be, the stumbling block of him leaving. I think Juventus, more than likely anyway, if they want to get him back, would have to offload a couple of their essential players as part of the deal to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because I doubt they'd be able to afford Paul Pogba, in a straight cash payment, of course. But like I said, he could still possibly, leave Paul Pogba. I'm going to read up about more about Paul Pogba soon. Obviously, I'll give you the latest news, didn't I, earlier on about Horizon Lozano from PSV, of course. Reportedly now, he's meant to have been signing for Napoli for quite a long time. I think he's been on Napoli's agenda, for quite some time. So he's meant to be, signing for Napoli. He's Horizon Lozano. Obviously, no deal has been done as yet. I think, obviously, his agent Raiola, wants to get the deal over the line. He wants Horizon Lozano to make the move to Napoli. But I think now, from Horizon Lozano's perspective, and I do believe there's some. I do believe there's some element of truth in this. Horizon Lozano has reportedly said he wants to make the move to Manchester United. So he's hoping Manchester United come in right at the final hurdle and make a current offer for him. And he's only 23 years of age, very young. I think he'd be much better solution than Gareth Bale. He's 23, like I said. I think he's commonly known as Chucky. He's Horizon Lozano. I think he's been. No, I'm getting some soon. He is commonly known as Chucky, but like I said, can play as a forward, can also play as a winner. Very, very good for Mexico last summer, being at PSV a couple of seasons. And like I said, reportedly, I think he's rated at around £40 million. But I think Manchester United have inquired about his services a couple of times, Horizon Lozano's. So yeah, like I said, this element of truth in this. Reportedly now he wants to join Manchester United. His move to Napoli was currently stalled, even though he was on the verge of signing for Napoli. I think Napoli had put a bid in for him of around 40 odd million pounds, but I think this actually came out in the media yesterday, as you all currently know. But like I said earlier on in the video, another problem with Manchester United, we have let far too many players' contracts run down. Obviously, that's been another issue. Obviously, with Rashford, he's in the final year of his deal. I think hopefully somewhere along the line we can come to an agreement to get him a new contract. I don't think Manchester United are orchestrating on selling him, because he's still got a hell of a lot of development in him, a hell of a lot of years ahead of him, and I do know it's going to take Rashford at least a couple of years, to get him to that level where he currently he wants to be. And he's still a long-term solution. I know he's been very inconsistent in the last couple of seasons. Recent reports have said that Barcelona are interested in him. You know, Real Madrid have been linked to him in the past, but Manchester United are not intending on selling him. We've got Juan Mata. There's been a change of scenery with Juan Mata. Obviously, you know, reportedly now we are willing to offer we've offered Juan Mata a new contract, should I say. It remains uncertain whether he's willing to accept this contract offer or not. As you all know, we have got a release list of 14 players. Obviously, you know, Juan Mata is not included on that release list. Obviously, Valencia is on it, and Herrera, of course, is on it. And I'd love Juan Mata, you know, to sign a new contract with Manchester United. I'd love him to spend at least another season with the club. I know initially doesn't get in the team now. You know, Juan Mata, of course, is a squad player. He's a squad player, is Juan Mata, and even if he does leave the club and he goes to Barcelona are going to use him as a squad player. They're not going to see him as a replacement for Lionel Messi. They're going to see him as a current squad player. But like I said, Juan Mata, I think, has got just under 3 weeks left on his existing deal. I think Man United have been in talks for some time, you know, to try and get him a new contract. But I don't see he's willing to offer him a long-term contract, you know, reflecting on his age. You know, he's 31 years of age. Obviously, you know, he's aging up. He's Juan Mata. He has lost that yard of pace, but he's been at Manchester United 5 years, made over 200 appearances in all competitions, scored 45 goals, so he has been very, very consistent to us. So yeah, that's mainly everything to update you with today, guys. Like I said, so the main part of this video is to give you the latest news about Jan Oblak, and obviously, you know, all the rest of the news that's going on in the media. So Jan Oblak reportedly, you know, wants to leave Atletico Madrid this summer, and his first choice preference is Manchester United. Reportedly, and I'd probably say he would be a good replacement for David De Gea. Obviously, we're going to want to, you know, get him, you know, get him, you know, with the money that we do raise for David De Gea, of course, because I think we can get around, if we cash in for him this summer, you know, we can get around £60 million for David De Gea. Initially, Manchester United, you know, we still believe we can get maybe in the region of 70 or 75 million pounds in, but obviously he's in the final year of his contract, so we're definitely not going to be able, you know, to get 100 million pounds for David De Gea. So obviously, as you all know, like I said, we've got Daniel James on the board. Solskjaer's going to want to build on that now, of course, and get another 4 or 5 players in. I think the second one who's coming in is going to be Bruno Fernandes. I think the third one could possibly, you know, be Wan-Bissaka. Whether Crystal Palace are willing to accept 50 million or not, I do not know, but reports are saying Crystal Palace want at least around 60 million pounds for him. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider a subscribe, as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.